What's up, everybody? Welcome to the LiveTime with Alec. I'm Alec. Welcome. Happy Tuesday. Woo! All right. If you remember, every other Tuesday, so last Tuesday was leadership. Today we're diving into sales, super sales focused conversation today about becoming ubiquitous. Woo! Big word. All right. So before we dive into it, let's understand what the word means, because you got to start there. I know. Being present, appearing, or found everywhere. See, a lot of us were great originators in the street, and we used to hear things all the time from our realtor partners, which was, I see you everywhere. So let's talk and dive into what that means today in the digital world. What's up, Chris? Thanks for hanging out with us, dude. Yeah, great word. That's like an A+ spelling bee word. There it is. And again, my friends, it means to be present, appearing, or found everywhere. And so let's talk about this. Why is this important? First of all, you have to build the foundation before we can understand why you should be really focused in 2021 on being ubiquitous. You have to understand, why is that important? Why does that matter? So let's do like a simple little fun test to start, right? So if you guys are watching, thank you. Drop a comment. If you're watching this in the future, let me know. Hit me up with the hashtag bypassed. Gives me great pride. Let you know you took 2 minutes out of your day to say hi. So here's the deal. Why does this matter? Why appear everywhere? Let's start with a little test. If I was going to give you, let's do a little word analysis or a little challenge here. If I ask you to name me one insurance company, what jumps into your head? Super fast and easy, right? Like, so one insurance company, go. You start to realize things like the gecko starts to jump into your head. You see things like the Hump Day commercial. You see things like You're in Good Hands, State Farm. These things jump into your head. Now, why do they jump into your head? Well, because they've marketed to you. Clearly, they've created some headspace with you. They've earned the right to kind of be associated with that word. So let's talk about the real core of what it means to get success in our business. Okay, it's three things. It's right here. This is what leads to success. So the first thing in there, you guys have seen this before, we've talked about it before, is likability, right? Like, you know that people in real estate work with people they like. Fair? Like, people that you're always like, how the hell are they even in this business still? It's shocking. But then you realize, hey, there's some people out there that like them. And through likability then you need credibility. You really do. You can be liked and loved, but you need to get the business. You have to show up with credibility, and that leads to opportunity. Likability, credibility, opportunity. But what's the key to any of this stuff? What's the key to being ubiquitous? Why does that matter? Now, before I get into it and land the ship here and really open up the conversation, there's an underlying framework here that you have to understand. Becoming ubiquitous to the world is irrelevant. That's not the audience. You've really got to define the core audience you want to be ubiquitous with. Does that make sense? If someone's like, my goal is to be ubiquitous, well, to who? To who? So let me share some examples, right? I think it's important that you're ubiquitous with the realtors and referral partners in your community. Not even the ones that you're prospecting, like all of them. You know why? Why would you want to be well-known or appear everywhere to all the agents in your community? Well, to me, it sounds pretty obvious. You want to earn the right to get their business. You also want to earn the right to be respected and well thought of. Seriously, like, let's say there's an agent that you really don't connect with, you really don't want to work with, but they're a big agent in your market. They're going to be doing deals left and right. You're likely going to be on those deals. So having some sense of ubiquity with those realtors is going to give you the chance to have that respect where they go, you know what, even though I don't work with Alec directly, I see him all the time. Got to respect the hustle. And maybe that next time you show up on a deal, they're not going to kick you off. They're not going to be offended. They're not going to even they're going to know who you are. They're going to like you. Or at the minimum, they're going to have some credibility and they'll let you in the door. So the first thing about being ubiquitous is you have to know your audience. And then you have to be intentional to grow and cultivate that audience. I talk about this all the time, but like, I still have friends and they're like going deep on Twitter and they've got no followers. And not only that, they're not actively engaging or talking to people on that platform on Twitter. So they're literally just posting into the wind. No followers, no engagement of other people on the platform, no following other people and talking to them and building relationship, just posting. You're failing. So before we talk about why this is important for your business plan in 2021, you need to understand that you have to have the right audience to start, and you need to be investing in growing that audience. Okay. So when I say this big old word, what's up, Matt? Thank you, dude. When I say this big old word, becoming ubiquitous, don't get it twisted. Know who your audience is. Be consistent in building that audience and be consistent in engaging with that audience. I talk about the ICE method all the time. I'm not going to go into it on this LiveTime, but it talks about identifying, connecting, and engaging with the audience you want. Because if you're going to be ubiquitous with that audience, they need to be around you. Make sense? So here is, as we unpack this equation right here, there's only one way that I know of to build trust with somebody. That's it. There's only one way I know. So, and let me define this for a second, because trust is the core part of opportunity. If someone doesn't like you, know you, trust you, if someone doesn't follow this path, if they don't trust you, they can like you and not trust you. Fair? You can be liked and not trusted. Which is like, man, they like me. Why don't I get any business? They don't trust you yet. And so there's only one way I know how to earn trust. Does anybody know? Anyone want to guess in the comments for a second while we kind of just go through this? It's an interesting one. How do you build trust? And I'll give you the things it's not while you're typing this out or thinking about it. It's not performance. If someone is going to, like I use a real estate professional as an example. If a real estate professional is going to hand you their customer that they work so hard to bring to the table, they're not going to do it and be like, well, I hope he's okay. I hope he's good. We'll just try this, and Alec, and if you're good, then maybe you'll get more. No way. That customer's a precious egg. It's a precious commodity. They're not going to give you a chance to show how good you are. So you're not going to get performance to build trust. You don't have that. You don't have the background, the track record. So how else do you build trust? A referral. A referral can help build trust, right? Like if someone calls and says, hey, what's up? Matt is the man. Matt is the lone warrior. He's the best in the business. You should call Matt. Okay, I'm getting some trust. But how much do we really trust that stuff anymore? It goes so far. Maybe we'll call Matt. What builds trust? My brother Mikey hit it over on YouTube. And so thank you for jumping in. This is how you build trust. Only one way. Only one way in the world that I know to build trust, and it's right there on the screen. Kablow. And then it hits the overlay, so it's weird. Consistency, ubiquitous. This is it. This is it. You build trust through consistency, period. When you consistently show up and perform, you build trust that you're going to consistently show up the next day. I'm serious. Take our little pre-COVID world. Take the Playbook 101 with real estate professionals. How do you build trust? They're not going to give you a deal. They're not going to test you out. You show up every day at their broker previews and open houses. You show up with flyers and water and cookies, and you just show up. You mail them once a month. You show up at mixers. You show up. You call for appointments. You show up and show up and show up. Consistency builds trust. Because if I can trust that Alec's going to show up every single day and bring it, he's going to walk in every single day, he's going to work hard, then I should be able to trust him when I give him a client that he's going to continue to perform the way I see him performing every day. So here's what I want for you. Here's why we're having this conversation about becoming ubiquitous. Here's what I want for you. I want your digital community and your local community, which are the same people. I want them both to know you, like you, and trust you. I want them to call you for their next loan question. I want them, the second their friend goes, yeah, I'm thinking of buying a house, they go, I have an amazing loan officer. Are you not talking to this person? That's what I want for you. But that's called becoming ubiquitous, because if they're not seeing you, here's another analogy. I love this story. You'll resonate with this. So whenever I'd coach loan officers about prospecting real estate agents, I'd always say one thing. If you're not showing up to their open houses and their previews, when they're out working, like when they're prospecting, when they're working, if you're not showing up when they're working, they don't think that you're working. Think about that for a minute. Think about that for a minute. If they're out on a weekend at an open house, hustling, putting signs in the dirt, people are walking in with their kids. They're like, hey, please put on boots. I know it's COVID. It's weird in certain areas. But if they're out working, hustling, and you're not there walking into their open house to introduce yourself, to say hi, to let them know you're working when they work, they just assume you're not working. You could be in the office on a Saturday or Sunday doing pre-quals for whoever is not, maybe not their clients, but they don't know. They don't care. They don't know. They only know you're working when you show up when they're working. Period. End of story. So you can be the hardest working LO in the world, but if you're not out where they are when they're working, they don't know if you're working or not. How would they know? If you're sitting in your office returning phone calls, doing email, they don't know. So you have to work when they're working. Now you have the chance to do something special. If you've analyzed your audience and you're like, okay, my audience is going to be every single realtor professional in my community. It's going to be all the entrepreneurs. It's going to be all the business owners, all the politicians, all the movers and shakers, all my past customers. If that's my audience and I'm cultivating them online, I'm finding them on Facebook and LinkedIn, I'm connecting in, now what's my opportunity? We already have discussed ad nauseum that everyone is staring at their screens all day long. You're doing it right now with me. What's up? So, are you there? It's your chance. It's your opportunity. It's unparalleled. It's never happened in the history of our business before, except for this moment. We're living in it. Are you there? Now, we can get into strategy on what to do when you get there, because there's different things. And maybe I'll unpack a little bit of that as we're having this conversation. But like, this is your chance. They're staring at the phone. They're staring at the screen. Are you there? Because if you want to be ubiquitous, if you want to be so present and everywhere and clearly thought of, then you need to show up. To me, this is as bright as the day. It's so self-evident. If we understand that our customers and referral partners are staring at their screens for percentages of their day, and that percentage is going to be increasing over time as a generalization, then to me, it is so obvious that the great opportunity is to be in that space with them. Hello? Is this not obvious to anybody else? We can get into what's stopping you in another LiveTime thing. I don't care about the excuses for now. I just want to underline, like, we're starting off the year in 2021. Last LiveTime, I talked about leadership being first in the breach as a mindset and how to lead people, because I think that's going to serve us for all of 2021. This topic today is going to serve you this entire year if you recognize it, if you realize that it's accurate, and if you're willing to do something about that. Let me give you some examples. All right. I'll make this as simple as I can to get everybody off their ass. This is not me telling you that you have to start making a video every single day, which I've told to people forever. This is not me telling you that you have to start a podcast tomorrow. What this is me telling you, clearly, simply, is that you need to hang out and contribute where your community and people are. That makes sense? You need to contribute and hang out where the people are. Now, if we were talking in 2005, I would be telling you every single day that you need to be out where the realtors are. That means on Broker Preview, you could go to the Tustin Board of Realtors. And on Wednesday, you could go to the Costa Mesa Board of Realtors, and et cetera, and go meet agents. Now, I'm simply telling you, go to where the people are and hang out. Contribute to the conversations. Don't just like and flip on out. Be in it. It's the same thing as telling somebody to go to a networking event and they stand in the corner. If you went to a networking event and you stood in the corner, I'd be like, you failed the purpose of the networking event. You didn't network. Sure, maybe somebody saw you, so you checked a box. You got that done. Great job. But you didn't take advantage of the event. Now, I know taking advantage of a networking event makes me immediately feel insecure. Like I just imagined right now going to a networking event, forget COVID, going to a networking event and having to go meet people and be like, "Hey, I'm Alec. And what do you do?" That terrifies me. I'm an introvert and I have massive fear of rejection. So that sounds like the worst thing for me ever. But I also know intellectually that if I go to a networking event and I stand in the back and I don't say hi to anybody, or I just say hi to the 3 people I know and then I bail out, I'm not taking advantage of the opportunity. I know that intellectually. So when you look at a digital community and you realize you want to be well known, you want to be ubiquitous, you want people to associate you and mortgage together whenever that topic comes up. And yet you go to these platforms and you don't participate. Again, it's not about putting out a video every day. That doesn't make you ubiquitous in the way maybe you want to be. You could do it. It's a quick way to get blocked or muted. Let me give you some pro tips as we kind of end today's thing. First of all, I'm not trying to set you up with this conversation with a plan. I'm just trying to push you in the direction of, do you agree? Do you agree that the digital communities are going to be more robust and deeper and more important as this year and the future years go on? And the answer is yes, of course they are. Do you agree that it's important to have a great, powerful brand, a great, powerful digital influence with a large number of people, both digitally and locally, and that they associate you with a great mortgage professional? Do you agree that's important? 100%. Do you want to be ubiquitous? Do you want everyone in the real estate community, in the professional community, in your friend community, in your past customer community, to never forget you and to know you're a great mortgage professional? Yes, 100%. So here's how you do it. Number one, you make sure that your digital community is full of those people. If you need help on the ICE method, you can hit me up offline or send me a DM. I'll give you the video or talk to you about it. No problem. But you got to make sure that your digital community is full of those people. Number two, you got to be investing in the community. You don't go to a networking event and stay in the corner. That means don't use it as a voyeuristic tool to spy on people and creep out on whatever. Use it to be part of the conversation. When you see conversations happening on social media, it's so easy to go up and add your 2 cents. In a physical networking event, if you see 2 people talking and you want to like buddy up and be like, yeah, that's awkward. That's hard to do. On digital, you can just swoop into the conversation, drop a thought, drop a thank you, encouragement, be part of the conversations. And then at the same time, don't forget that at some point, you're going to have to share the truth about you as a professional and how awesome you are. You're going to have to do it. If you just went to a networking event and you never said what you do, you just went around and talked to everybody, but you never said what you do, you're not going to win. You're not going to win. One day the camera will be on you and it's your turn to shine. We've talked about that in a couple of the videos. But this is my word for you this year. This is my word for you this year. I want it in your business plan. I want it underlighted and highlighted. I want it as a strategy. What's the goal? What's the goal? What's the goal? Being ubiquitous. Because I'll end on this. If you are ubiquitous, if you're in the conversations, you're contributing, you're putting out your own messaging, you're sharing your thoughts, what you're passionate about, what you care about, what you're creating is opportunity. What else more do you want? Like what you're creating is at bats. What you're creating is a chance to talk to a customer. What you're creating is a chance to do more business. But you're not doing it running around smashing people in the face with your Yelp reviews. You're not doing it by putting out content because Alec said you should put out content. You're doing it because you have something important to say, because you care about something deeply, because you're really connected to the why you're in this business, and you're investing in your community, contributing, engaging. That gives you opportunity. So my friends, be everywhere. Appear to be everywhere with the right community. And I guarantee you that the success you want and that you're capable of will come flooding in the doors. But if you're invisible, if you're not ubiquitous, if you're waiting for somebody else to tell the world that you should get their business, you're going to be waiting a long time. It's your year. It's your year. There's nothing ahead of you. There's nothing in your way. There's nothing stopping you. It's literally your year to be ubiquitous with the community that you want to be ubiquitous with. It's your time. Take it. Have fun with it. Step into it. Turn the camera on and show up in a big way. I'll see you guys next week on LiveTime with Alec. Have a